Oh, I'm not happy.
But why? We watch you all the time.
It's how you watch that upsets me.
What can we do, TV?
Try being more selective. Look for values in the shows you watch and discuss them with your family.
You're right. There's a lot we can do.
I feel much better now. Ah, you understand me.
Look for the best in TV. Bring out the best in you. A message from your Catholic neighbors in Indiana.
Multi-talented Barry White is our guest on this edition of Black Focus. Barry, you're about to embark on something new. Although I heard you mention that you were involved in gospel some time ago, there is now something called the first annual Gospel Festival held in Jerusalem.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Rod McGrew and I, we were invited to the Holy Land to see it, to feel it, to experience it in January of this year of '83, and we went in and incognito. No one knew we were there, literally, and just saw the Holy Land. It's very spiritual. It's very active. It's when I say active, I mean within the spiritual boundaries. It's very peaceful. It's very beautiful. It's serenity. In many ways, one would call it heaven. In many ways. When you're standing in the Holy Land, it's no longer important what is true, what isn't true, what happened and what didn't happen. The only thing one knows is something very important happened here. And Rod was filled by the Spirit, I was too, and the people we were talking to wanted to do something positive. So he and I sat down one night and put together the first annual Gospel Festival in the Holy Land, One Nation Under God. It is a gospel festival. It's a gospel concert that's going to be held from the 13th of August to the 21st in the Holy Land. And it's a pilgrimage involved as well. People can see pilgrimages. There's nothing new about pilgrimages to the Holy Land. What makes this so exciting to us and so different is that we're not only going to experience it through sight, but we're going to experience it through sound. To hear Reverend James Cleveland, Andre Crouch, Evangelist Shirley Caesar, the Southern California Community Choir, and yours truly, Barry White, hosting, and I'll be singing a couple of songs with everyone there. Everyone's looking forward to it. It's a positive move. It's bringing people together, bringing the sharing of cultures together, the spiritual experiences together, the educational factors together. The people in the Holy Land are just as excited about this event as the people are here. So I am thrilled to my heart to be a part of positive things. Anytime I can do something that brings people closer together, and this is one of them.
I understand that there is a number. That number is 1-800-223-1780 for those of you who might be interested in going.
Absolutely.
Barry, I'd like you to stay. We want to do another show and talk about God and love.
You got it. My pleasure.
Jay Johnson for Black Focus. See you again next week with more of Barry White. Change, defined by Webster as the act of passing from one phase to another. Our guest again today comes from just such a change, a sort of rags to riches story, if you will, from a poor struggling young man to a multimillionaire and owner of his own record company. We'll talk about Barry White's ideas on love and God on this edition of Black Focus.
It's incredible. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Just a few hours ago, we had no idea that we would meet this way.
And good Sunday morning, and welcome to Black Focus. Again, our guest is the very talented and multifaceted Mr. Barry White. Barry, welcome to Black Focus.
Thank you, Jay. Good to be here.
We're going to talk this Sunday about love and God. Compare the two.
God is love. It's either you just did. The same thing that created the tree created me. The same element that created water created you. The same element that creates the wind and the rain created woman. God is everyone and everywhere. There's a song that Reverend James Cleveland recorded years ago, and it says, "The moon and the stars, the fields full of grain, the soft summer breezes and the mountain rains, it all belongs to my Father." That's, in my opinion, sums it all up. I believe in man. I believe in woman. I believe that we can change anything that's wrong. I believe that God gave every man and every woman the power to change, to cause effect, to treat people decently. We have the power to feed the hungry children or not to feed. We have the power to give and administer justice or non-justice. We have the power for everything.
What I heard you say was, I believe in man and I believe in woman. Do you believe in God?
That is God to me. God is trees, air, women, men, children. We are made in his image. So my philosophy is, if we're in his image, we must really be close to him. So man and woman must be a part of him. That is God.
On many of your album covers, I see the word spiritual advisor and then a name. Why do you have a spiritual advisor?
Spiritual advisor is not a person who just administers biblical spiritualness. A spiritual advisor can be a person that you call up when you're feeling bad, that you can talk to. Spiritual advisor, Jay, can be a person that will lend you their ear, their time, their heart, their ideas to whatever may be negative in your life. Spiritual advisor in that case was the man who gave me my first shot in this industry, Larry Nunes. He's dead now. And as long as I'm making music, his name will appear on the back of every album. Spiritual advisor, Larry Nunes. That's the man that gave Barry White a shot.
I don't want to bring up a sore point, but I realize that there was a time in your life, not long ago, around the holidays, when you were touched by the loss of your brother.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
Well, I loved my brother dearly. He was, we're 13 months apart in age. He was 37 when he was killed, December 5th, 1982. It was shocking, it was devastating, but it wasn't unbelievable. It wasn't something that one would say it's impossible. My brother chose to live the life he led. He was no saint. He was a product of his environment as well. He was taught the same philosophy I was taught. He just chose, and it was his right to choose how he wanted to live his life. And the reward for one struggling so hard to become successful, whether it's at banking or bank robbery, there are payments and rewards for every level of achievement. When you see a person who goes to jail or penitentiary for 15 years, that is, in my opinion, a successful person. Sure, there's no future as far as he's in the papers and he's doing business and he's earning money, but the man's in jail for 15 years. Not a lot of people in jail for 15 years. I chose to earn mine, he chose to take his. I was taught by my mother since I can remember, when you're wrong, you're wrong. I don't care if it's your mother or your brother. When you're wrong, Barry, you're wrong.
Were you ever wrong? Did you ever do any of the things that your brother did?
Yeah, I just didn't get caught doing it.
What kind of things did you do?
Stealing cars, gang activity. I didn't do as much, nowhere near as much as he did. He was committed to it. I did it more as surviving in the neighborhood, let everybody know where my stand is and where I am. I'm with everybody, I'm involved. But there came a day when I became a man and I put away childish things. My brother became a man, and the things he did as a child, he kept doing, and it caught up with him.
Where are black men headed, Barry?
Black man? To be a black man in America is very tough, my friend. I sit from one side at one side of the table now, but now as I speak, I'm talking about the other side that I once sat at. It is tough to be a black man when a man's pride is taking care of his family, providing food for the table, providing a great environment, a nice place to live, and suddenly someone says, you can't do that anymore. That's heartbreaking. It's very tough for a black man to become successful in a country that didn't give him the proper tools of education to deal with once he left that school place. It is very tough. Where we are headed, only God knows where we're headed. I don't have a crystal ball, Jay. I can tell you this. I hope that black men all over America realizes that the game outside is tough. It is very, very cold. It is very hard, but that game is not impossible. To win, you must get committed. It's tough to say that to a person that don't know how to weld or to build or to do carpentry. Just the average person who dropped out of school and now discovers at 28, 29, I messed up. It's never too late to learn.
I promise we'll talk about love as Black Focus continues after this.
It's coming to you. It's gonna renew.
Base to gold snacks. Caution. Space warp near you. Enemy snacks may be hiding there.
Roger, Base. Look out, it's the red snacks!
The red snacks are always after you, so you'll have to fight them with the golden snacks from the 4 food groups, like cheese wedges, eggs, apples, celery, crackers, and many more. Safe in good nutrition with balanced snacks from the 4 food groups.
Battle news brought to you by your Dairy Council.
Santa Claus Land, a holiday world of entertainment. Come for the magic, come for the music. Come on along, everyone. Santa Claus Land for a day of family fun.
Now you can support Ronald McDonald House while saving $1.50 on admission to Santa Claus Land in Santa Claus, Indiana. Pick up a special coupon at any participating McDonald's.
The fun's right here this year, Santa Claus Land.
And welcome back to Black Focus. I'm Jay Johnson, your host. My guest, very talented Mr. Barry White. And the topic, well, is love. Go from there.
Love is a very essential thing. Love is what we came here for. Love is the opening door. Nothing can offer you more, if you know what I mean. My whole life has been about love. My mother was about love, and still is. She's always given us that smile in the morning, that smile before we went to bed. Mommy loves you guys. We love you too, Mommy. We learned how to say I love you at an early age. We learned how to touch at an early age. We learned how to respect and love at an early age. So as one grows and grows, it becomes habits. I learned at a very early age that most negatives were positives for me. I learned at a very early age through love, I'll never work for anybody. I'm always working for Barry White. And blessed am I to be able to get paid while I'm learning your philosophy, sir. So love is many things. Love is knowledge. Love is warmth. Love is understanding. Love is people. God is love.
Let's talk about women.
What do we want to talk about women? Women is still God's greatest gift to man. Whether he can acknowledge that or not, and there's many reasons why he can't.
Why?
Society's programming of today, we have taken emphasis off of respect of women. A lot of women have taken the emphasis off of respect of themselves. In the married sector of life, people are marrying for the wrong reasons, Jay. Nothing's guaranteed. I don't care what reason you get married for. No one has the right to marry anyone. You take someone spiritually, physically, and mentally. You don't need no one to stand there and tell you to say, I do, when you've already said it. We don't communicate with each other. Men and women today are getting further and further apart. Man has done a very poor job with this great architect that God has given us. This architect of man, he is the caretaker of this great land, and we have fouled the air, the seas, our children, and our women. And I must give responsibility of that to man, because man boasts of how first he is. He is number one. Well, number one's responsible. Number one, women are afraid today, Jay. That's why they are going for the liberation. They are in trouble, and they don't trust us. Because in order for someone to trust you, be it man, woman, beast, or child, even with a dog, you must have credibility. You can't, a trainer will tell you, if you want to chastise a dog for something he did wrong, you walk over to him, never call him to you. Because when you call him to you and chastise him, when you want to call him to you just to love him, he will think you want to chastise him. So you even have to have credibility with a dog. Now you know what you must have with a human being. Baby, I love you. Sugar, you the only one for me. I'm going to build our life. I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to support you. I need your support. Things like that, Jay, are becoming extinct.
Let me ask you, Barry, about jealousy. Now, there are those who find themselves, and I guess I'll choose the subject of men,
okay,
who find a woman, become very possessive, don't want anyone to look at his woman, and dare not dance or speak to her. What do you do with a guy like that? Is he right or wrong?
As far as he's concerned, he's right. No one owns anyone. Man is very territorial, like animals. We tend to possess, and because we're so powerful physically, we can cause things to happen that normally wouldn't happen. A jealous man, to me, is a man who shouldn't have a right or reason. Let me rephrase that. Not that shouldn't have a right, shouldn't have a reason to be jealous. You see, if you're on your job, if you're on your job, there's security in that. Most jealousies in America is insecurity. There's so many things out there, so many distractions. The man sees his woman looking at the guy in the Cadillac going down the street, and that'll, or the guy that walks in with the three-piece suit and he only has two pieces. Well, what was you looking at the guy? You like his suit or something, baby? I mean, it's negative spirit about some men. There are reasons for that. It's all in the system, Jay. It takes more than this show to get into that one. We need a lot of time to get into the reasons of things. It's not just important that it's happening. I think what's even more important is, why is it happening? Why is it divorce rate is higher today than it's ever been?
Tell me why.
Why is it that the cry today is, don't get married? hang loose. And the laws are going to take care of those philosophies. Palimony now. You can't even hardly talk to a girl or a woman and say, baby, I like you. Would you like to like me? That could cost you a court case. You can bleep this later, but it's all. That's really what it is. It's American, and it's gonna take us to a death stage because children are involved. What's more important than that man and woman's relationship is when they lay down with each other at night spiritually and physically communicate their bodies with and become one. And that life comes from that moment. If that man and that woman does not have their life and their philosophies intact, that child is going to suffer. So he'll grow up at 21 and come in your house, Jay, where you and your wife is communicating and blow your damn brains out, brother.
Black Focus continues with Barry White after this.
You try every day, but you can't figure out why in the world she went away.